Good afternoon, y'all. It is the 1st of October. So I figured I would write out a video. So we've been absent because I've been out of town. I've been doing work things. And I figured it was important to get back in touch with the community here just to let everybody know how important it is, some of the things we talk about. I'm currently doing about a 120-mile supply run due to Hurricane Helene that hit my house in my neighborhood and community smack on, dead on. It hit Friday. We were out of town, so we lost power, according to the neighbors, about Friday, 5 a.m. We didn't get back into town. As I said, I was on a work trip and I got the wife and kids to come out with me. We didn't come back into town until Saturday evening, but we lost power. Our dog was away. He was at a farm that we board him at. He was safe. We had heard from the owners there, but we didn't get it until Saturday afternoon. Our chickens were safe. Our neighbor was watching after our chickens. Find yourself a neighbor like that, right? So just wanted to give a blow-by-blow update. So we get in about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Saturday. So this would have been on the 28th. No power, no cell phone service. You lose cell phone service about a good 50 miles plus, about 50 miles outside of the range where it was hit. No cell service whatsoever. No gas, no electricity, no nothing. They've got gas, but because they don't have the electric pumps to pump the gas or the credit card payment methods, because nobody freaking carries cash anymore. Apparently I'm odd. They just shut down the gas stations. So what happens? People need power. They want to power their generators. If they had any, they go immediately to the gas pumps. Nobody's got gas. You can create your own scenario. When I tell you that it looked like a war zone, I have seen war zones in other continents. I have seen what artillery rounds, air burst rounds where they blow up in the trees. I've seen what those look like after a lot of shelling. You can look at some of the videos of how World War I, how trees looked. After that bombardment in the no man's land, if you want to look at bare sticks, trees splintered. It literally looks like trees exploded. We're not talking like tiny little trees, like the half-inch trees, inch-round trees. I'm talking mature 250-year-old oak trees splintered, look like they got hit by a bomb, like just detonated, splintered out. No power, no water. So that'd have been Saturday night. Sunday, I'm cooking out on my back porch because that's what you do. Actually, back up. I came home. I have a solar battery bank that I charge on a fairly regular basis, and grabbed that, threw that on our freezer, our standalone freezer. Our fridge was already screwed. No sense wasting energy on that. The freezer down there had some stuff that was salvageable, but threw it on the freezer. It drained that sucker fast because it was already hot, so trying to get it back down to cold temperature was ridiculously difficult to try and get it down. So here it is at night. I'm trying to make sure our battery works through. Again, I had no prep because we had been out of town for almost 2 weeks, so we didn't go get full. We didn't have food in the house because we didn't want it to go bad while we were gone. We didn't have fuel in all of our vehicles. We had it in my the current vehicle I'm in right now because that's what we left at the airport. But food, fuel, water on hand, so I always have water stored up. Thank God we did, both in jugs and like the 7-gallon pails, all sorts of stuff like that. So we saved up all that. We were good to go. We ate food before we came down because we knew it was going to be bad. Started cooking Saturday morning, looking at the damage, and I don't know, act of God, which I don't believe I am deserving of or blessed for. I could not tell you why, but our house was miraculously under damaged compared to our neighbors and stuff like that. No roof shingles missing. We had replaced the roof about a year ago due to hail, but our shingles were missing. Our next door neighbor took probably a 60-foot pine tree to his back porch and smashed through the roof. The miraculously, he wasn't hurt. What else? I mean, our pool, we have an above ground pool. I know, super classy redneck like. We had an above ground pool that we had drained about halfway. It had a leak before we left, so it drained down to the leak, which is about halfway. When we came home, it was completely full. So you figure that's about 2,000 gallons. The pool's 16 foot by 8 foot. So I don't know, you can do the math. One of our neighbors said it was somewhere around 11 inches of rain that fell in a 24-hour period. Somewhere between 80 to 85 mile an hour wind gusts. Sustained was about 75. Not a power line in sight that's actually standing up. In fact, there was a whole row outside of where we live that it was 25 poles just all the way down. So, looked at the damage. I'm out cooking on the back porch, brewing a cup of coffee for my neighbor when I was watching the chickens. He's in his late 70s. And, just enjoying a cup of coffee. And it kind of struck me, I've never had him over for a cup of coffee. Certainly not that early. I think it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. But I saw people outside of their houses doing things, walking, checking on their neighbors. I didn't even know half of my neighbors before this. Talk about a huge oversight. Because we all get stuck in our own little bubbles. And I'm just as guilty as the next. And I was like, we'll be fine. One man is an island. And as I've said before and talked about prepping and being prepared, we are a lot better off than a lot of our neighbors are. A lot of neighbors, one of them said he had a whole half of a cow in one freezer, and he lost roughly about $2,000 worth of meat because he was stuck in Florida. So he got hit in Florida and then got hit coming up again. So poor guy couldn't catch a break. Other kind of sad stories around the neighborhood. One of our neighbors, their mom was on hospice care at their house. She needed to have a generator going to kind of keep the machines going, to kind of make her transition more peaceful. And they couldn't get the generators running. So they called the fire department. The fire department moved her to the hospital, but she died shortly thereafter because of the moving. Blessing and a curse, right? The local hospital where I'm at, the community hospital, the largest one, it is run by a government organization, and so it's a military hospital, but it services the whole community area. They've turned away everybody, and last they called, because I had a MRI scheduled, they said that it was 87 degrees inside the hospital. They were turning away anybody who was not emergent, and no plans of reopening throughout the week. So just kind of tells you where they're at. The disaster relief, when I tell you that I think it's phenomenal, I'm seeing folks from all over. Like I'm driving north, and there are folks coming from all over the country to help fix some of the areas down here. There are, last estimates I saw, there was something My wife saw it, so if I get the figures wrong, my wife can yell at me later. 500 transformers blown. 600 or 700 miles of power line that has to be replaced. And I want to say it was like 1,200 power poles, 1,300 power poles. Just imagine the sheer enormity of that's going to take. Each crew, I think she said it takes about 3 hours per pole. I mean, we're talking a week plus, 2 weeks plus before they start getting power back to some areas. Sometimes it's going to be 2-3 weeks. Part of the reason why I'm making this little run is because we're trying to get more power generation. So my solar panels are great, but not enough. I need more panels. So serious oversight. More on that in a different video. Fast forward to today. So we are, as I said, Monday, October. I think it's Monday. I don't know. It's October 1st, whatever day of the week that is. Currently, stores are starting to open. Walmart's open. Just very limited in its capacity. Ice is still abundant. People are getting ice. You got to remember, down south, it's noon here and it's 81 degrees. So figure by the time it's bedtime tonight, you're talking your house is 85, 90 degrees, and you're trying to keep food cool, plus trying to keep you cool, which is no problem if you take a cold shower. That's my wife's preferred method of staying cool. I can't stand the heat. I was born and raised in the mountains, and this heat just kicks my ass. Anywho, those are some kind of the heads up takeaways. I don't think it's getting the national attention that it should. I think a large part of it has to do with politics. I think the current mayor of the next largest city around us, he's an absolute dope. He has been the entire time he's been in office. I've met him personally multiple times. I bet he's nice and cool in his air-conditioned stuff. I mean, it's really nice that we have some senators come in to town and say, "Oh, we're here with you," as they go back to their air-conditioned cars or go to the airplane to go take them to their air-conditioned areas where they don't have to worry about us. Other states are getting disaster relief. I think that ours is particularly slow behind because I think our neighborhoods are like just dirtbags. Hopefully people will see that in the polls this November. So anyway, enough for now. I just wanted to give an update, kind of let people know what was going on. It is very heartening for me to see the community start to come together. And yeah, as I said, I'll do another little video here shortly about things I screwed up that I don't want others to screw up, as they're kind of getting prepared for things. Talk about a way to end September. So the month of September is National Preparedness Month, and a lot of my preps did very well. But there are some really glaring holes, and that's why I'm risking driving out an hour, 2 hours one way to go pick things up in kind of a questionable time frame period, because the hole was that big that if something else further happened, if we do catch another storm, if power goes off for longer, it'll be worse at an order of magnitude larger, and I want to make sure that I fix this just in case. So thanks for watching. Please share it with people that you think might benefit from that, and look forward, as I said, please be looking out for the video that I post after.